Okay, so here's the deal for people who may not be able to see this. This is the truth about Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. Now, as you may have heard, Alex Jones has been blackballed from many of various social media outlets because of his content. And a lot of people, basically anyone who valued free speech, was saying, it's kind of a bad idea for these places to start limiting our free speech and making it political, blah, 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 Trump support, hate, etc., etc. And this happened slightly after Alex Jones and Joe Rogan got into a disagreement where Alex Jones pretended to call out, and I do believe he pretended to call out Joe Rogan and to say what a shill he was and how he backtracked on the lunar landing and how he knows a lot but he doesn't say a lot, etc., etc. And Joe Rogan just laughs off and says, "Oh, Alex Jones is hilarious. You know, a lot of the stuff he says is correct. He's he always supports Alex to some extent." They met around 1998, which is when you see Alex Jones first hitting the scene. This is right when you see Bill Hicks, the comedian, pass away, supposedly from cancer, just like Andy Kaufman. You see, the reason that Joe Rogan always refers to Alex Jones as hilarious, and anytime a guest of his has something bad to say about Alex Jones, he's like, listen, he's hilarious. He's a hilarious guy. It's because Joe Rogan idolizes Bill Hicks. And as you should know, Alex Jones is the comedian from the 80s, Bill Hicks, from Houston, Texas. That's why Alex Jones also plays a Texan. You see, Bill Hicks, and he talks about this in his act, he talks about little girls sexually, in a sexual way. Refers to their nether regions as pink strips of cotton candy. This is horrible. This is not comedic. I believe this is his way of coping, as lots of comedians do. Just like Jim Carrey and Norm Macdonald, I feel that Bill Hicks was a predator. And Bill Hicks was quite anti-government. For his entire career as a comedian, he was extremely political. He was really into conspiracy theories. He had a whole bit about the Kennedy assassination. This would make him a perfect candidate for, I believe, what is a deep state shill program. You see, the media has been largely discredited in the post 9/11 era. Most people believe that the news, in fact, is fake. Even if they don't support Trump, they still believe that fake news exists. People can see the clips of your local affiliates spouting off government-supported, government-promoted, government-made propaganda. It's sickening to see how far our fourth estate has fallen. And the government, the deep state, they knew that this was going to happen. They knew that post 9/11, people would start mistrusting the media, realizing it was just a CIA, NSA mouthpiece, basically a propaganda wing and a human resources for the political apparatus. What do they call that? Similar to like what a press secretary does, they just continue the process. They are 100% bought and paid for by the government. If you don't believe that the media has been completely co-opted, then you're ridiculously retarded. So the government, knowing this was going to happen, decided they would create, before 9/11 happened, a alternative media source. which they would need a political head, a face, a scapegoat even, to be this fake media outlet. And that's the InfoWars Network, the Alex Jones empire. I believe they caught Bill Hicks doing some bad shit, probably to a little girl. And they said, listen, bud, you can either work with us or you can go to fucking jail and get raped for the rest of your life. What's it going to be? And he's like, man, I hate the government. And they're like, well, you know, you can still talk about a lot of this shit. Well, let's have a list of things you can't talk about. One of those things being Israel. And he decided to go along with it. He enjoyed it at first. He turned one of his characters into a real human. He was a way for him to get out. And Joe Rogan knew Bill Hicks, but he got to know Alex Jones much better. And Alex Jones, I believe, with Aaron Dykes, let Joe Rogan in on this. Joe Rogan knows that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. That's why Alex Jones accepted the Lifetime Achievement Award for Bill Hicks in his name. And then talked like him, suspiciously. If you've done any amount of research, you know that these are the same people. The CIA or NSA or whatever three-letter alphabet soup deep state agency that was behind the creation of the fake alternative news has always had control of it by having control of Alex Jones. They are the ones who got Trump elected. The reason you know this is true is because if you go back and watch the interview with Joe Rogan, he stammers over himself quite a bit. Doesn't he know how old he's supposed to be? I mean, this is ridiculous. Alex Jones is a lot older than he's claiming to be. You can tell. It's not that difficult. I'm sure Aaron and Melissa Dykes would confirm this if they were allowed to, but they had to sign huge disclosures whenever they joined the InfoWars team. And how you know this is the case is because recently Alex Jones got caught with transvestite pornography on his phone. One of his windows was still open whenever he was showing the camera his phone, and it turns out to be transvestite pornography. See, Alex Jones is not the conservative person he's claiming to be. He's not a gun-toting activist. He's a shill mouthpiece. He's Bill Hicks. And he's still into the same similar perversions, proclivities. The weirder, the more taboo to these people, the better. A lot of these people are not gay or straight or anything like that. It's all about the taboo-ness of it. And I believe that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. So has the same exact interests and tastes. I believe that Rex Jones, his son too, is all a part of this. It's all part of co-opting our media and making it so we have nowhere to turn for legitimate news. But more than that, they're now using Alex Jones to fulfill their real purpose, which was the dismantling of all other alternative media sources by first taking out the biggest piece. They can then topple the whole Jenga tower by making it okay to get rid of Alex Jones, by making Alex Jones a very dislikable character after years of poking fun at him. This is why Alex Jones is always referred to by Joe Rogan as hilarious. The reason why they got into an argument was so that Joe Rogan could continue to be as popular and opinion swaying as he is and not get hit by the typhoon they were about to send down on the falsely created Alex Jones. So they could destroy people's voices on formats like YouTube or other social media outlets that were places where people could have voices without being silenced. This has all been planned. It's about taking down Alex Jones to take down the real alternative media. Alex Jones has never been alternative media, and I used to like him quite a bit, but it's pretty obvious he's Bill Hicks. So think about that. Think about what's more likely, and what his relationship with Joe Rogan says about Joe Rogan, and what his disenfranchisement from his soapbox is achieving for the powers that be. So think about that. I just wanted to put that out there because I don't find a lot of people commenting on the fact that he's not fucking real. Like, people are thinking that he's an actual legitimate person, Alex Jones. He's not. They have opinions about him like he's real. He's a character. He's a complete character. He's Andy Kaufman, but a pedophile. So take it for what it is. It's the truth. Stop living in lies. Alex Jones doesn't even really exist. And neither does Bill Hicks anymore. So you've been two people, Alex, Bill, AB, but you are not really a person at all. You're a ghost between two bodies. You have no control over your future, and you sold your soul. So, fuck you guys. And by you guys, I mean Joe Rogan too. Fuck you, Joe. It's not funny. It never was.